Lauren Reese, and today I'm with some members of the cast of Footloose and director Mrs. Riccardi. So everybody can go around and say their name, their grade, and who they are in this show.
Well, I'm Teresa Riccardi, and I'm the director of Footloose.
Hi, I'm Nathan Brotman. I play Chuck Cranston, and I'm a senior.
I'm Kevin Colarusso. I play Reverend Moore, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cairns. I'm a senior, and I play Cowboy Bob and Travis.
And I'm Trevor Ranzan. I play Willard Hewitt, and I'm a junior.
I'm Jessica Way. I play Rusty, and I am a senior.
I'm Felicity Schmidt. I play Ariel, and I'm a senior.
I'm Evan Worrell. I'm playing Red McCormick, and I'm a junior.
All right. So the first question I will ask to you, would you like to take on talking about the plot of Footloose and as to why you chose it?
Well, the plot. I'm talking about the plot.
Or if anybody else wants if anybody else wants to take it on.
You know, Kevin was talking about the plot just a minute ago, so I was going to take that on.
If you don't know the story, it takes place in a town called Beaumont. It's really in the middle of nowhere. A young boy named Red McCormick moves there with his mother after just moving out of their old home. And he discovers that rock and roll music and dancing is illegal in this town, and he doesn't know why. So this story is pretty much about him, going through the life in the town, making friends along the way, trying to do what he can to help out and change things.
Honestly, good job. And Mr. Cardi, you can say why you chose this year to do Footloose.
Why did I choose it? Well, Footloose, coming off of COVID, I was looking for a musical that would be recognized by so many people. I knew that our students in the theater program would, as well as our students that love coming to see our shows. So I knew Footloose would be familiar to them, but also the adults, also our teachers, our staff. This musical, actually came out as a movie during the 1980s. And because of its popularity, became a very successful Broadway musical. So with that, I just thought it would be just a fun musical that is so known for its music and dancing for everyone involved, and not just on the stage, but in the audience. And then it has a great story. There's a great message about communication and compromise. And all in all, it has turned out to be a real fun rehearsal process, and great singing, great dancing, and a great story along the way. So really, really awesome. Yeah.
There's great themes in the show. We'll dive a little more into that later.
Sure.
But as you said, this show and movie has been around for a while now, since the 80s. Has a lot of 80s dancing and vibes to that. So everybody can answer what's been the best part about doing a dance show and then also a show that takes place in the 80s and all the aesthetics and vibes that go with that. Anybody can chime in on that.
My character, the Reverend, doesn't dance at all in the songs, but I really like practicing them in the choir room and, just learning the music with the rest of the cast, even though I'm not going to perform it. But I think my favorite song is probably why I loved helping him out singing Still Rockin'. That was one of my favorites, definitely. And also Let's Hear It for the Boys.
Yeah, everybody can say their favorite songs and dance numbers, or songs to sing and dance numbers now. That's a good segue.
I mean, my absolute favorite song, I'm not just to listen to, is "Holding On for a Hero." I love that song so much because the harmony is just perfect and it just sounds amazing. And all the songs are really good. All the songs are great, and the dancing is really, really good, and it's a really fun show that I'm really happy to be a part of.
Everyone else can chime in with their favorites?
I think my favorite song, to listen to, is probably once again "Holding On for a Hero," just because it's probably one of my favorite songs from the show, entirely.
It's such an anthem.
It really is.
So powerful.
It's so much fun. I can feel myself bouncing around in my seat. I'm like, yeah,
it's
let's
impossible
go.
not to.
I love how the guys are choosing the number that the girls sing.
This
is fantastic.
My favorite.
This is fantastic.
My favorite
I
one
love
to
it.
dance is probably "Let's Hear It for the Boy," just because it's so fun to do a little country western kind of dance, because I've never really done anything like that before, so that was just kind of a new experience to kind of tackle.
Cowboy boots,
right?
Yeah. All that. And anybody else?
I totally agree with Kyle. Obviously, my favorite song is "Let's Hear It for the Boy." I'm a little biased, but I feel like I don't do a whole lot of dancing in that number because I am singing, but it reveals so much about how Rusty feels about Willard and their communication, and it's just such a positive number, and it really gets all the girls singing and everyone dancing, and it's just so fun to be so lively on stage.
I think my favorite one is "Let's Hear It for the Boy" too, to dance. And then my favorite one to sing is definitely "The Girl Gets Around." I love the harmonies in that song and just the whole I can't think of the word for it. The whole vibe of that song, yeah, it's really, really fun.
I saw that yesterday and it was really good.
I would say my favorite song to sing is probably "I'm Free," because that song, the energy level in that song is high. It's at a max. My favorite song to listen to, probably "Still Rockin'." Just something about "Still Rockin'." Just something about it. It's just so fun.
The line dancing.
Yeah.
It's unbeatable. The energy to that is unbeatable. Anybody else?
Well, my favorite song to listen to was like "Let's Hear It for the Boy" because it just has the beats and it's really good. And my favorite song to like sing is or like watch Evan sing is "I Can't Stand Still" because he
very good
puts
number.
so much effort into it and it sounds so good and I just can't help but listen to it.
It's a very good number.
Yes.
So Cardi, do you have any favorites?
I don't because I love them all. I'm sorry. That's not the answer you want, but I'm having a great time watching everyone perform each one, and each one is just getting stronger and more innovative each day, and people are letting go and just letting the joy of doing it just take over them, and it's just fun watching each song grow from day to day. So
I know I've seen these old videos of us practicing from like day one.
Yes.
We had these tiny little portions of dance clips, and now they're like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They're like the opening number is
Right.
like 4+
Right.
minutes. And
Right.
it's like you see the growth of that. Pretty crazy. So iconic songs like "Holding Out for a Hero," the opening of Footloose, "Let's Hear It for the Boy" are still so popular today in music. How does the history and the cultural impact that Footloose had for the 80s and that generation challenge you all as actors and going about these roles that a lot of people know, as Mr. Hardy said?
well, as these students know, I am a child of the 80s.
Exactly.
So I could, Mr. Fenlon, I could see him and it was a fantastic decade for us to grow up in. Some great music coming out of it and dancing and it was one of those movies that came out where it wasn't a musical, but the score was so addicting that people they would hear the music, and even after seeing the movie you just wanted to get up and dance. So when you went to one of our school dances you would hear music from Footloose.
Yes.
From the DJ, and we'd be up dancing, and it's just it's just the joy of celebrating life and just growing up as teenagers during that time. And so it's great to see you guys actually explore and compare what it's like to be a teenager today, and like look back and go, let me capture the teenagers from that decade. So it's kind of fun. It's been fun watching you find that, in each one of your characters. So.
Kind of see yourself in them.
Yeah, and the ensemble as a whole, it's like,
Totally.
you did those dance moves? Okay, that's what you did, huh? Okay,
Time
all right,
appropriate
that's what we did, so that's kind of fun.
I think,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
No, you
Sorry.
can.
I think taking the history of the movie and how popular it is was nerve-wracking at first, because I remember going to the dentist, and my dentist asking me, "Oh, what do you do in your free time?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in Footloose at High Point." She's like, "Oh my God, Kevin Bacon? Phenomenal!"
Iconic.
She didn't know who I was playing yet.
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh, and, playing Ren McCormick." She's like, "Oh my God." And it's just been that response of, like, people love this movie. And I think when people come see the show, that they're not going to be disappointed. They're going to see that the effort is going on the stage to bring back that vibe of the movie and keep it going. And I think people are going to have a good time, and they're going to want to get up and dance by the end of it.
Yeah, and kudos to the writers that turned it into a musical. They were able to capture the essence of what people loved about the movie and bring that music onto the stage. So, the characters in the original movie didn't sing those songs, and yet the songs were in the movie.
Yeah.
And now they're singing that music. And so it was a really great transition from a movie to a stage experience. So
the soundtrack's awesome. Love those songs. As we get closer, we have 2 weeks until opening night. As we get closer to Tech Week, what is everybody genuinely most excited for with coming up in the next few weeks? I know we have previews coming up. We have 6:30s coming up. Anybody want to talk about that and what they're most excited for?
I think I'm most excited for just seeing the whole show come together, because Tech Week and the 6:30 rehearsals is usually when that really starts to happen. And of course, before we're obviously like running all the music and dancing, but it's never really fit together until we start getting into 6:30 rehearsals. So
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna say I'm really excited for like the previews and other things that we haven't been able to do for the past year and a half with COVID and all, because now we're finally able to do a little bit more. So I'm really excited to do not only the preview here, but also at the elementary schools and the middle schools. So I think that'll be really fun to do.
I'm very excited because so far we're just trying to adjust our characters into the 80s, and like once the show, once we get to the show, then our characters will be fully brought out, which would be really, really, really awesome, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
This time is about my favorite time of the whole rehearsal process.
yeah.
Normally during the rehearsal process we'll work on an Act 2 song, we'll dance an Act 1 song, and we're all over the place, we're doing a bunch of different things, and then when it all comes together, so like honestly effortlessly, and just it melts.
There you go.
And
Melts, yeah.
and it's so satisfying, and it's just so cool to see everything come together into one piece.
Totally, I totally agree with that.
I wouldn't say effortlessly though.
Through hard work, it all comes together in the end.
Hard work, but you make it look effortless. Hard work.
So we talked about themes of Footloose at the beginning of the show. It has a lot of deeper meanings. On the surface, it can be seen as like a happy, upbeat kind of show, but it's really discussing themes of coping and coming to terms with grief, loss, family, and how we love each other and how we listen. As we sadly reach the end of the rehearsal process, what is something you have discovered about the show or felt changed within you as an actor, or something you learned as a person and how that changed you?
I think, like as a senior and this being my last show and everything, I think I've really discovered like through Footloose how to like get out of my own head and just like enjoy every moment I have on stage, and just getting to do this amazing show with all of my friends sitting here right now. And I don't know, it's just been a really fun experience to like actually be out of my head and like live in the moment throughout this entire show. So that's something that I feel like the show has taught me, is to get out of my own head.
Definitely, as again Kyle was saying, it's my last show here at High Point, but it's something that I've never played before. I've never played a teenager before, so this presented a lot of new challenges. And Rusty is such an upbeat, positive, romantic character, and that's something that was totally new to me and was scary, but it really challenged me to step out of my comfort zone, and I think it really taught me how to be comfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like that the character I'm working with is the Reverend. You know, it gives me a chance to really think about what he's going through and what he's been going through, because like in the church scene, you see who he is when he's in front of a big group of people, but then you also get to see who he is, you know, when all that goes away. You get to see what kind of person he is when he's alone by himself and when he's thinking about everything that's happened. And you get to see kind of almost two sides of him, and I think it's really cool to discover his character more as we go on through rehearsals. So.
I think the character I'm playing now is my favorite character I've ever done in theater. Even though it's not a good thing to say, because he's, well, evil. and it's hard to capture being like a kind of like a bully type, abusive boyfriend type of guy. But it's really fun. not to sound very mean-spirited, but it's really fun to play the bad guy.
It's challenging you, and you're learning how to take on new roles like that.
He's the bad guy. Yeah.
Each character kind of has conflicts of their own, and you're all kind of discovering that, and whether like the bad guy or like the right guy, like or a guy who wants to stir up trouble and stuff like that and make a scene. Like everybody has like intentions and stuff, so it's good to see that come out towards the end of the rehearsal process. So, one last time for our seniors, and Mr. Coyote, if you have any last words to say about the juniors that are going to become seniors, to underclassmen, and to anybody who might be watching this.
I think it's, I'm especially excited because we all know what the last year and a half has been like, and even though we certainly worked hard through it and did productions during COVID, this feels like the return to a traditional musical rehearsal process, and just watching students that didn't get a chance to do things full out, the way we normally do things in the last year and a half. It's been great to watch that rehearsal process start in January and keep going until this point, and have us be 2 weeks away and know that we're so excited about this performance weekend. So just watching all of that growth, because we had the time finally to do a traditional rehearsal schedule and work on a full-length musical, which encompasses so much and pulls so much out of this cast. The demand of the vocal score and the amount of choreography, and again, the telling of a beautiful story takes a lot to pull off a 2.5-hour musical. And it's been great to see it come to this point. And as many of them said, I cannot wait for the next 2 weeks to see what happens, and everything comes together, and finally be able to do it in front of 3 beautiful live audiences, which we weren't able to do completely, so I'm so appreciative of that, and I'm so excited for them to have that.
Feels good in your heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else? Seniors? Anybody? Want to chat?
It's such a beautiful thing to go through the rehearsal process. And the last full musical that we had a live audience for, and we completed all of it, was my freshman year with Fiddler. And it's really just becoming a full circle moment where I started out that way and going to end like that. And it's such a beautiful thing seeing all of the work that's created on stage and the effort and the time that everybody puts in, and just the bonding. I think that it really creates a really family atmosphere. I know family comes up a lot, but it's just, it is true. It's something that's just so special to see.
Yeah, it's nice, like she said, with it coming full circle, because I was also in Fiddler, and it's just, there's a lot going on with finally being able to get it all done and being able to have rehearsals and saying, okay, this is where we'll start, this is where we'll end, and not having to be thrown around all the place. And I think it's just a really good opportunity for people who may have been a little bit skeptical or not wanting to join the department, but now that we're doing this show finally, and we're finally having a normal rehearsal process, I think it's really good encouragement to people who are thinking about it to just come and try it out next year. So
yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for talking. It's been so much fun. You can get tickets for Footloose. It is open to anybody who wants to come see it at www.showtix4u.com/events/highpoint. Performance dates are April 8th, 9th, and 10th at 7 p.m., 7 p.m., and 3 p.m.
2 p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Sorry. I keep saying 3 p.m. I noticed that. 2 p.m. on the 10th. Again, thank you all for being here, and you definitely